Howdy, Rick from DreamSideOut. Well, what does Mt St Helens, living in a U-Haul truck, and street poetry have in common? I don't know, but anything's possible on YouTube, right? Well, I have a kind of a weird off the wall story here. This is just a story from the past. If you're interested in the the backstory, the past of Rick from DreamSideOut, well, here's one of my stories. Okay, this goes way back. I'm up here in a special place for me. This is right behind me. Here is right there is Mt St Helens. See here, right behind me? I'm right here. I mean, this is on the east side of Mt St Helens. The eruption back in 1980 took place, and the landslide blew out the other direction toward the west, sort of, northwest, sort of. But this side of the mountain was, it had its problems too during that eruption. Well, I remember when the eruption happened. I was not here, fortunately, because if I was here, it would have been hell, pure hell. Because, I'll show you why. You see these boulders lying around on the ground here, like that one? That's a small one. That's a small one. I mean, here, let's go over here. Well, that's even a small one. But here, over here, across this little paved area here, here's a pretty good size boulder right here. Take a look at the size of this sucker. That's probably twice the weight of my van right there. Okay, and that big angular piece of stuff right there. Okay, this whole area right here where I'm parked was raining boulders and ash during that eruption. All these boulders were falling out of the sky right into this area. If you can imagine being here, that would have been pure hell if you were right here. You just wouldn't have survived. Now, back in 1977, I came up here and I camped with a couple of companions, my sister and a good friend of mine. And this area was very remote then. There wasn't any, it wasn't a tourist area like it is now. It was very remote. You had to come up through some back roads to get here. It was a clear-cut area. And I remember spending the night up here camping out. Now, this goes back to a time when I was adventuresome and young, and I wanted to find the famous cabin that had been attacked by giant hairy beasts. Part of Northwest history. It's written it's documented in journalism in Northwest in the history around here. There was a gold mining claim up here in Ape Canyon, which is right up here a little ways, and there are some miners up there that claim that their cabin was attacked by a group of large, hairy, bipedal beasts who threw rocks at the cabin. And you can look that story up. It's a very famous story. That was kind of the beginning of the whole Sasquatch, Bigfoot thing in the U.S. It's one of the very first stories that was popularized. People came from all around to visit that cabin. Now that's what I was doing up here with my sister and my friend. We were camping out. We were trying to look for the cabin. It wasn't here in this area. It's down a road. I think I actually know where it is now. I've done some research, and I'm going to go on a little personal expedition. I'm going to find the place, because just for the fun of it, you know. But I think it's the remnant of it is still there. I mean, the cabin is gone, long gone, but I think I know where the place is, where it was. But anyway, we were just on a little adventure at that time. But I remember camping at this spot, and oh, how it's changed. I mean, it's just an amazing place after the eruption of Mt St Helens so many years later. You know, to sit here and look at the mountain. I come up here very often, by the way. This has become a sacred place for me, believe it or not. It's sort of one of those special spots. But if you can look up there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. See that V, that kind of that, right there, that V at the top of the mountain. Apparently there was a pretty good sized glacier right in that slot. That melted off real fast on the eruption, and down through here came a flood, and off of the top of the mountain came a pyroclastic flow of gas, ash, boulders were flying out of the air. And oh, an eagle up there. Oh, well, you know, I think that's a nice little spiritual sign when an eagle flies over you and you're talking about a sacred thing. There it is. Yeah. But anyway, if you can imagine it, just down through here, it was pure hell. I mean, it was raining ash, gas clouds, and all kinds of stuff, and these boulders falling out of the air. We tried to make our way up Ape Canyon way back then, and couldn't go any further because it's a very steep box canyon, and the further you go up the canyon, the steeper the walls get, and then you can't walk anymore. You're just going along, you know, basically hanging on the side of a cliff, and it gets more and more dangerous. So you can't go very far up that canyon. Now, a lot of people don't know that here in Skamania County, in Washington State, I believe there's still a law on the books. I got to look this up and verify it for sure, but there was at one time anyway a law on the books that forbid anybody to shoot a Sasquatch. Okay? There wasn't any problem with knowing whether Sasquatches existed. They just made a law that you can't shoot them around here. Okay, I don't know anywhere else in the world where there's such a law, actually, but there was something on the books at one time about that. It's a nice summer evening. I'm going to wait here until the sun goes down. I'll wait till a ranger kicks me out or something. I don't know, but I'm not supposed to. I can't spend the night here. It's not legal to camp here because it's within the national monument, and they have places around the national forest where you can spend the night. So I'll go down the road a little bit when I get ready to sleep. I don't know if you remember the story of Harry Truman, the old guy that lived at Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake is around, I'm facing the mountain right now, but Spirit Lake is around the other side a little ways. And he was the old guy that refused to leave, and the mountain erupted. He got buried. My grandmother and grandfather knew him when they were like 20 years old. And my grandfather used to drive a school bus up here around Mt St Helens, around the Toutle River area, back during the Depression. I'm trying to imagine my grandmother and grandfather being 20-year-old kids, basically, living up here, driving a school bus. And they used to meet up with Harry Truman, the old guy that ended up dying in Mt St Helens. They used to meet up with him and to have dinner with him. And I was so shocked when I heard my grandmother and grandfather talk about that one time. They just talked about it matter of fact. I had no idea there was a connection, but yeah, they just it was just a part of their history, and it was kind of neat that I found that out about them before they passed away. Mount St. Helens just has a lot of personal memories for me. I've climbed to the crater rim. I'm going to climb up to the crater rim again this summer. Maybe I'll get some of that on video and share it with you, because I need to look in the volcano again. Sometimes there's just a time when you gotta stare into the volcano. Well, ponder that one.
DreamSideOut. We have to bring our dreams on the outside in order to understand their reality. If we keep them on the inside, it would be nothing but a mere fantasy, living amongst our fingertips, where we can't let go, where we won't even let it slip because it would cause so much anxiety. See, if we dream inside out, then our outside will grace the vibration of the spirit instead of the physical plane, allowing us to be taken to the cosmos to see the birth of a star, allowing us to be able to measure time just by the vibration amongst our tongue, allowing our heartbeats to be sprung. Because knowing the beauty of the life amongst the dream, even if it flows amongst the wind, we have to fly to catch it. We just can't let it slip away. See, a dream is more valuable than $1 million mansion on the hill that the government could tax you every year. See, allowing us to be able to let go of our fears, that's one of the dreams that would only allow our heartbeats to sing with unison amongst the birds, amongst the world, that would bring forth a harmony that would allow us to measure life amongst the melodies, because it's the vibration that brings goosebumps amongst the skin, especially when we dream inside out. We live a life that is more devout.